Ain't nobody's hero, but I want to be heard. What up, Dallas Penn?
Combat, what's good, brother?
Oh, man, can you believe it? What's up, Josh?
I'm chilling, man. How you?
I'm good, man. Ben Hameen.
Good, man. How you?
Man, can you believe it, man? We are occupying Hot 97. Baby.
Hashtag. Don't forget the hashtag.
So listen, man, Ebro, thank you for taking your time out of your hectic schedule to sit down with the minor leagues, man.
Yeah,
because I really appreciate this.
I'm all about giving back.
Yes.
I'm all about giving back.
Okay, this is a big issue that's bubbling in the streets right now.
I love issues.
You love issues.
I love when people have issues.
Yeah, now I noticed, man, that recently, man, you've been very vocal. You've been very visible. I've heard about you for some years right now. We have mutual friends we've never met.
That's correct.
And now I'm seeing you all over the place. What's going on, man?
I think we were just trying to do something to give something, for people to fight for.
Right.
I think all of us here at the radio station come from an era that we remember when hip-hop had a little bit more integrity. And now you don't see as much integrity for whatever reason,
right.
Whether it's the business models, lack of business models, lack of people enforcing certain integral pieces of hip-hop that were already there.
Certain standards.
So I took the bad guy approach because in my role here at Hot 97, that's what you play when you're the guy who has to say no more often than you say yes.
Right.
To say, look, if you want a slot on this and you want to be a part of this, then I'm going to evaluate you a certain way. I'm going to look at you a certain way, and I'm going to drive you to either be better than average and compare you to the greats. So if you turn in a piece of audio to me and it's not as great as Jay or Swiss or something that Blaze has done or any of these people who are making mainstream music right now, then I'm going to critique you as such. And that's why I called it minor leagues.
Okay, well,
the other piece of that was it started around this whole Trinidad James.
Yes.
Right?
This is what inspired me to, jump out
the
into
whole
the fray.
Trinidad James thing was like, yo, fuck that. This shit is ratchet or it's ignorant or it's this. And my whole thing was like, it absolutely is.
Yes.
And what people are in denial about most of the time, and it's every market. I'm from the Bay Area. So even in the Bay Area where it's my boy Davey D upholding certain standards in hip hop, or when I was coming up with the Coup or any of those, there was always this or, hieroglyphics, whoever. There was always this that's ignorant and it doesn't have a place in hip hop.
Right.
And I think coming from I worked in mainstream radio since I was 15.
You've been in radio since 1990.
1990, yeah.
That's 22 years, B.
Yeah.
You've seen.
I've seen all the ignorance.
And you've seen
all the conscience.
And you've seen all the black intelligence and
I've
excellence
seen
and the
all
whole
of it.
nine.
I've seen it all.
Right.
And I've also seen those individuals that were making that decide to make other things in an effort to pay a mortgage, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I think my opinion is it all has a place. Right. And sometimes the pendulum swings out of whack in ways that you don't like, and sometimes it swings in ways that you do like. But to say that something's not hip-hop or to act as if you don't enjoy it when it comes on in the club and Shorty is rubbing on you and you drinking with your homeboys, that's bullshit to me. So
let me be clear, man. I love the whole spectrum of what's being of what's out there.
Right.
I don't want to
Except Cudi, but that's all right.
Except Cudi. I don't fuck with Cudi that much musically, but
you don't like Kid Cudi?
I mean, that's Dallas Penn's lane.
That's
he loves Cudi's shoes.
I have a kilt.
You have a kilt.
An actual
one?
kilt.
You got a leather one like that?
An actual
plaid
kilt.
one. A
An
plaid
actual
one.
kilt. I think that leather joint was a skirt. It didn't have the pleating right. It wasn't in a tartan plaid pattern. I think that was a skirt.
And I said tartan.
Knows the kilt rule.
So anyway, like I said, I see the attractiveness and the hypnotic vibe that is Trinidad James. You know
and the kind of how do I describe this? The lowest common denominator.
LCD rap.
Yeah,
LCD
that
rap.
kind of, what do you mean when you say LCD?
Lowest common denominator rap.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
see
like,
that.
it's unadulterated ignorance times 10,000.
Exactly. I get that. But my concern, and I think the issue that B-Dot, our colleague B-Dot from Rap Radar raised was, where is the balance?
Okay.
Where is the balance? And what's fucking me up right now is I got kids.
That's right.
My 15-year-old doesn't listen to radio because he likes the Childish Gambinos. He likes the Mos Defs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He likes the who's the other cat he likes Joey Badass.
Yeah.
So he's turned off by what he's hearing.
That's
so
right.
when I'm in the crib playing 2 Chainz and fucking Trinidad James, he's like, yo, Dad, like I'm letting him down, but I'm like, yo, I could drink also. So I could drink, you can't. So you gotta
I'm partying,
exactly.
you studying.
Exactly. So my question is this, man. there's all types of music being made.
That's right.
This is, and the reason why I singled out Hot 97 is this is it. This is the home of hip hop. This is where hip hop lives.
And for the purpose of the conversation, the reason I jumped out was because of that same reason.
Right.
I'm comfortable being the poster child, boy, whatever, the guy that people focus their anger on, the guy that people want to berate on Twitter or on videos. I'm comfortable in that position.
Right.
If you've been in mainstream radio, that's what everyone ain't gonna like you.
Right.
And that's kind of and when you're a program director, you've even signed up for a higher level of disdain.
Of course, you wear the black hat.
You are the bad guy.
Right.
Syph and them call me the fun crusher. Flex calls me and, we get into debates about what he wants to play.
Right.
Enough, you guys known Enough, I'm sure, for years and years and years. He's from Brooklyn. He's a backpack rapper. These guys, Mr. C, they're all into that. So we have these same debates, right? And my thing comes down to, what is performing the best that gets us the most ratings?
So it all comes down to numbers and ratings.
100%.
So is there no room then?
There's 100% room. So perfect example, I don't know how long, Jay Electronica, that whole scene we put on with Jay Electronica when he put out that record.
Yes.
Me and Enough
which was your record.
Yeah. Right, me and Enough was in the office. And Enough was like, man, I want to play this record, but man, I just don't think anybody cares.
Right.
I was like, ask them. So he went on the radio and he was like, man, I don't even think I could play a Jay Electronica because nobody don't even care anymore, something to that effect. Twitter went crazy, play it, boom, boom, we put it in, played it in the mix, built it to rotation, did pretty well in research. It wasn't phenomenal, held it in there. Jay Electronica did his signing deals, boom, boom, pow. What happened? Where's the rest of the material?
Right.
Where's the movement? Where's the stuff? Talib Kweli's about to put out another album, so we've already started conversations about how his music's going to play out and what's that plan going to be, what's the marketing plan.
Right.
Because when we play a song for 3 minutes, okay, in that 3 minutes, I need to make sure that people do not turn off the radio. So I'm gambling, right? So if I take a risk and I play a song that I'm not 100% based on numbers, because when my bosses and everybody comes and says, yo, what's wrong with your ratings? I have to show them either these are the things that I'm doing to get ratings,
right.
And if those things aren't working, they're going to say, well, based on our research, you should be doing Z. And if I don't want to do Z, guess what? They get another me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right? Or I do and make sure I have complete backup on paper. Everything, how I'm moving.
All the data.
All the data. Why is this record being played? How often it's getting played? When it's getting played? Why it's getting played? I got to have all that. And then on top of that, this is New York City.
It's New York City.
So this is not a fucking game when it comes to being under the microscope of the FCC or being under the microscope of any of that shit. You better have all your shit lined up. Otherwise, you're going to be on a frying pan. You're not going to have a job.
So the call to you comes from Indiana. And
Indianapolis.
Yeah. And they basically have your game plan.
I have it detailed out for them. So, and actually the president of programming, Rick Cummings, he's actually out of Burbank, California. So he's closer, but technically corporate is in Indianapolis. But nonetheless, he works for Indianapolis, right?
Okay.
Everything that I'm playing, everything that I'm moving that you guys hear 10, 20 times a day, all of those records are researched records. Mm-hmm. We hire a company that goes out and does telemarketing on those songs.
Where? Do you have
New York?
Okay.
With 15 to 30-year-olds in certain zip codes, broken out by male, female, broken out by Hispanic and Black, broken out by age cells, and then they rate them on a scale of 1 to 5.
This is when they do the call out?
This is called call out.
Okay, right.
Then we also have, we was talking about PPM earlier off the air, we also have data that shows us how many meters stay on the station when we play a particular song. So if I play, like right now, I'm trying to think what that keeps 100% of the meters.
Click.
Chris Brown, Look at Me Now, right. Keeps 100% of the meters. That song
There's no drop off when that record comes on.
When that record comes on, if I played it 5 times or 10 times in the course of a week, it doesn't go nowhere.
Right.
Click, perfect example. I think it's in the 90s, like 92.7%. I'm playing that song 100 times a week.
Because it's market tested, it's laboratory.
Because every time I play it, meters don't tune away.
Right.
So this is a bit, like we're running an operation here. Now, we love to get into the hip-hop debates about who's making what song and who produced and lyrical content and all of those things. But at the end of the day, it comes down to those factors. That's how I base what gets on the radio station in frequency.
Right.
Then you have what Flex does at 10 and 11 o'clock at night, or what K-Slay does, or what Rosenberg does, or what Mr. C does in the throwback at noon, or what Camilo does at the new at 2. Those are places that we take more risks, but those are calculated risks, right? It's because we don't want to disrupt, especially from 7A to 7P, which is when the largest audience is listening, when the rates for advertising are the highest. We don't want to take risks that are going to tune people away.
Right.
Because in the way the ratings are broke out, Monday through Sunday, 6A to midnight is how your ratings are broken out. Then you have 12 plus, right, which is what most of the general public has access to. So if you were to go to Arbitron.com, you would see 12 plus. 12 plus represents persons 12 to 65 years old. Hot 97 is only concerned about 18 to 34-year-olds. So when we program our music, we're only concerned about that because that's where we make our money. So that's where we want our ratings to perform. We do our research based on that. So we're testing music associated with that demographic.
So what's changed? Because I've been listening to Hot 97 since day one. Like I've been listening when Protect Your Neck made the label.
No, we just had that conversation
when
this morning.
It made this station credible.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Y'all were breaking the Fugees when they couldn't pay people to buy their record. Y'all were breaking Jay-Z. Y'all broke Jay-Z, in effect. Jay-Z wasn't a major leagues. Y'all broke Jay-Z.
That's right.
Y'all broke 50 Cent. What changed?
I think several factors changed. First, I think people have to understand that radio doesn't make music. Right? Like
of course.
I'm turning to these then
But radio used to break music.
Right, but where we're getting it from, right? So then you had most of the recording studios in the time you're referencing were either in New York or in LA.
Right.
That's it. You couldn't, as an artist, record a recording, right, without actually paying studio time, which was very expensive.
Yes.
Getting an engineer, whomever, and going in and recording. So the recording industry pretty much had a lock on who and what was getting recorded and distributed as far as music. So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it that's changed is the way record companies decide which music is going to be what their focus is.
To get behind
and market has changed because now they're looking at it geographically, right? If you're an artist coming out of New York, there's probably 2 or 3 major markets that will play your songs as a quote-unquote New York artist.
Right.
New York, Connecticut, and maybe Philly, and then, Rochester and those things in between. You're not talking about a large population of people.
That's very limited.
Right. When you come out of Miami, you have Miami, Atlanta, New Orleans, probably pick up Texas, you're probably going to pick up Memphis, and you're going to pick up everything in between. So geographically, you've picked up more people.
The red states, basically.
The red states. You've picked up more people. Now, what's going to happen after that? BET looks at airplay, right? BET's going to go look at airplay and say, okay, well, this record's getting all of these radio stations. That's the music we're going to put on our video countdowns or features or artists, whatever, what have you. So now you have 2 things happening. You have the focus of resources from the recording labels focused in a certain region. You have BET focused in a certain region. Why do you think LA fell off? LA fell off because if you're a rapper coming out of LA, where are you getting airplay at?
LA. So the game is fucked up then?
Not really. Only if you want to be mainstream, though, because I think you can create a living being minor leagues. Sean Price doesn't give a flying
fuck.
Tech
9
doesn't give a fuck. Tech 9 I've known since the 90s. That's my boy.
Right.
He doesn't give a fuck about radio.
But why is he minor league? But why are these artists
because
who have...
they're not mainstream.
So it's just a misnomer.
No,
then.
it's just me provoking motherfuckers to have a conversation about some shit that's meaningful to the business of a culture that we all were raised on.
Right.
We're having conversations about shit that's not meaningful.
Right.
Right? The meaningful conversation is you have a decision as an artist. Do you want to be a mainstream artist? Or do you want to be an underground artist? Do you want to play the mainstream games or do you want to go create your own business? So many artists come up to me and say, yo, I want to get on the radio. I say, why? I want people to hear my music.
They want exposure. They want support.
Got tons of places to get music.
I mean, there was a time though when radio supported artists. That time is over.
That time is over now.
So it's a different beast,
right? Because now you also throw in the Clear Channel animal and the CBS animal. 5 FM stations in this New York market are owned by the same company. They also own billboards. They also own train boards. That's Clear Channel. They own 105. They own KTU. They own Z100. They own Q103 or Q104, and they own Light FM. So when they go out to an advertiser, they're like, look, if you want to market to females in New York City, we got all of them. We got black females on 105. We got white females on Z100 and Q104. We got Latin females on KTU. And then we got at-work females.
We got old people on LTW.
We got them. We got what do you want?
Right.
So then, okay, so I want, and where's most of the money? For average, where do marketers go with their dollars most of the time?
With the broads.
Women.
Yeah.
Spanish women.
We love
black women in that order.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have a scenario, and if you listen to Hot 97, most of the music caters to a balance of men and women. It's melodic, it's about love, or it's about partying.
Or it's about Molly,
money,
and Molly,
having
and
a party.
And Molly,
yeah. Busting it open. Don't forget a bus open and a Molly here and there.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So
those
are, sweating, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that when I look at the music that's on the playlist, I'm like, oh, relationship, party, get high, party, recreation, party, love.
Spend money on bullshit.
Materialism. Go ahead.
Okay, but like I have a question, just like he said though, like when it comes to the diversity, like I grew up in Houston and I grew up in the 90s like you know, like when radio just had a little bit more diversity. Now it's like, I mean, hip hop isn't all about partying and it's not all about love and having a good time. There has to be some type or some way that a little bit more knowledge or something can be brought into the
I don't disagree with you, which is why we have programs that can take risks more so than most radio stations in the country. But the things, once again, back to the research, the things that are going to get the most airplay are the things that are researching the best. I remember one time me and Jay was having an argument about a record that he wanted to get played more often. I told him it wasn't researching. He was like, fuck your research. I want to come see. I was like, come, sit in on the music meeting. I put the paperwork down in front of him. And I was like, you tell me what you would play. You're a businessman. You're a betting man. Look at each one of these songs like it was a horse in a horse race or a pitcher in a baseball game. Where are you putting your money? You putting your money next to the shit that performs. That's that, right? And that's what when you're listening to the radio station, every song that gets played is an investment in the airtime on this radio. Right. This corporation bought the license from the FCC to broadcast, owns this frequency, right? Courtesy of the FCC and the federal government, right, and has been licensed to go out and get advertisers to spend money based on airtime. So 12 to 14 minutes of every hour on this radio station, right, is worth money, right? So then they use the music to capture a certain audience so that they can sell that audience to McDonald's, right, Coca-Cola, whoever the fuck they want to, right? So while the conversation is about hip-hop, because you, in hip-hop and a lot of cultural radio, you have what we call like responsibility, right? Because Z100 don't give a fuck. Right. Z100 plays the biggest records, gets their money, and nobody says to Z100, how come you're not breaking local acts?
But that's what they're known for, isn't it? Isn't that what they're known for?
Right, but my point being is nobody's questioning them.
But that's also, hip-hop is different than rock and other forms of music. Hip-hop has always represented the people. It's always been, and especially in its early stages, like, you know, Chuck D to all quote, you know, CNN for black people. Mm-hmm. And nowadays...
But you're expecting a business to care, right, about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the difference is back before
We're expecting a corporation to say, like, part of the reason why we've become rich, the way we've been becoming empowered, is because we've taken this, you know, this cultural movement and we've capitalized on it.
Mm-hmm. And they will say, yeah, but we do. We do. You're saying we don't do it enough.
I'm saying what I see is that But what I see is this. What's playing right now, I think the danger is it is damaging the culture. It is essentially damaging the culture.
Yes.
And, you know, you tweeted earlier this week, like, what are we fighting for? One of the things I'm fighting for is that what happened to Kiss doesn't happen to Hot 97. The music becomes so culturally irrelevant that at the end of the day, it gets bought out.
So you want to know why? Will you want me to tell you the Kiss story?
Yes, tell me the Kiss story.
The Kiss story is based on what we were. For your listeners, we were having a conversation off the air about how radio gets its ratings.
Right.
Okay, the way radio used to get its ratings was based on what is known as a diary system. They would send a pamphlet to your home. They would ask you to carry it for 7 days. You would write down in pen and pencil, right? Hold that thought. Yeah. Everybody remember he said tedious. You would write down in pen or pencil what you listened to for the week.
Right.
Most people would get that piece of paper, which comes with, for black families, it might come with $5. With white families, it might come with $2 because it takes more to get a black family or a black person to participate, so they pay those households more. You would then fill out what you listen to. Most of those diaries, because I've seen them, would say, I listen to Kiss FM all day, all week.
Right. And they would they would run with that.
And that would come back to the Arbitron people, and that's how they would tabulate ratings.
Right.
Where we are today is in a metered system, which is based on they call your house or knock on your door, hey, will you participate in this system, right?
How can I get down with that, man?
Yeah, I can't participate.
I can't participate?
That's up to you and what you want to do.
I wonder how I get down with that.
I can't even discuss
Right, because they're giving out $5.
Yeah.
I think now they may give out like 10 now. It might be like
$5.
And how about this? There's families that I've heard about in the rating system. They might, as a household, you might have 4 or 5 people in there. You might be bringing in $40 a month. Right? That could pay a cable bill.
We could definitely pop a molly.
That's not paying my cable bill. But anyway, so
you can't pay cable with that no more?
Not anymore.
All right.
Maybe like basic with 5 channels.
No HBO, man.
But you can get one of those prepaid phones.
Yeah,
you get one of the prepaid phones. All right, my bad. I'm out of date.
Metro PCS.
I'm out of touch. Yeah, I'm out of touch.